encuentro. So give a great welcome to Camila.
Hey everybody. So I wanted to start with a brief story of the first time and the only time before this moment that I had come to the vigil. It was 2005. I was a freshman in college, and the first 2 months of being a freshman, we were very energized and started organizing on campus to bring a bus down to Georgia. And strangely enough, as it may sound, I had never made the connection in those months in preparation with my own personal story. And we were here with about 10 students from my college, and suddenly when the presentes were being called out, they called out the name of my great uncle, Orlando Letelier, and I made the connection in that moment about why I had been sort of pulled by the invisible strings of memory and history to this place of horror that destroyed my family's life. And even though I never met Orlando, I feel very much like my life was shaped and my family's trauma was shaped by his murder. And so for me it is very moving to be here, and I would like to share a brief sort of description of who Orlando was. I have a small photo of him here. So Orlando was a minister in the Allende government. In Chile in 1970, there was the democratically elected first socialist government. And Orlando Letelier del Solar, my great uncle, my grandmother's brilliant, funny, talented, and charismatic brother, was one of the ministers in the government. And he really, really believed in that Chilean national resources should belong to the Chilean people. And under the Allende government, he fought for the nationalization of the copper mines, among other things that he did. And when the coup happened on September 11th, 1973, he, along with the other ministers of the Allende government, were arrested and taken to a detention center in the very, very south of Chile called Dawson Island. And they were there held for about a year, tortured, and then exiled. And my great uncle Orlando was first exiled to Venezuela. And then, since he had connections in the States, folks from D.C. invited him to come and sort of work and speak out against the dictatorship there. So in D.C., he started working for the Institute for Policy Studies, speaking out about the corporate connections between U.S. corporations and the Pinochet regime. And the Chilean secret police and the U.S. government decided that he was too dangerous. He was too much of a liability. And so they planned various schemes through which to assassinate him. And finally, on the night of September 21st, 1976, a bomb that had been placed the night before under his car exploded, killing him along with his co-worker Ronnie Moffett, who was 25 at the time, who had just recently gotten married. Her husband Michael was also in the vehicle, but he was not killed. Since that moment on, my family's life has been about bringing justice around his murder. And my grandmother is a human rights lawyer in Chile, and she continues to struggle for justice. And we were able to bring justice to his murder, some of his murders, who were both high-ranking military officers, Contreras and Espinosa are their last names, who were both trained here in the School of the Assassins. And I just wanted to close by telling you that this year in Chile we commemorated the 40th year anniversary of the coup. It's a really beautiful time in Chile. I think people are losing their fear. Enough time has passed so that the younger generations are really struggling to keep historical memory alive. So at the National Stadium in Chile, where during the coup it was used as a detention center, every year there's a giant candlelight vigil with music, and this year I was there, and it was just one of the most memorable experiences of my life, I think, to be surrounded by so many young people and families remembering our loved ones, people who didn't have a direct connection to the dictatorship. They're also teaching their children about Chilean history. And so there was on one of the walls outside of the National Stadium this year on September 11th a graffiti that said, "Somos los hijos y los nietos y nietas de los que no pudieron matar." We are the children and the grandchildren of those who you were not able to kill. And Some of our uncles and great uncles and grandmothers and aunts and sisters and mothers were killed, but despite the fact maybe they were killed physically, but their spirits truly live on through us, and I truly feel like Orlando's here with me today, that I bring to you my family's message of solidarity from Latin America. And so along with all the young folks in Chile, the student movement who are mobilizing to fight neoliberalism and all the sort of continued effects of the dictatorship, I'm here to join with you in saying no to this place that caused so much pain to so many, including to my family. Thank you.